It's now been the third weekend in a row without any UFC, and I'm itching for some action. But before we wait for the fights to get back underway, let's take a look at 2025 and predict who'll be champion of each division. Before I get into that though, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe as I have brand new videos every single week. Obviously there's some champions that I don't think will lose this year, but it's boring if I go through every division and don't pick someone new to be champion. So don't start crying about your favourite fighter, okay? This is just supposed to be a bit of fun. So let's start with the big boys, the heavyweight division. Jon Jones has held this heavyweight championship ransom for over a year now. He beat Cyril Gane, who didn't deserve the fight in the first place, and Stipe Miocic, a man who'd not won a fight in 4 years. Also, whilst Tom was tearing up the division, and now he deserves his shot. This is a fight that seems like it will never happen, but it's an absolute dream fight, and I'm hoping this all comes together this year. And if it does happen, I think Tom is going to wipe the floor with Jon Jones. Tom is too big, too quick, and too strong. I think he's going to have this division on lockdown, and I can't wait to see him as champion. On the topic of having a division on lockdown, Alex Pereira seems unbeatable at light heavyweight. He's a fantastic technical striker, and he hits like a f***ing truck. A lot of people are picking Ankalaev to beat him, and with good reason. Alex's biggest flaw is his ability to grapple, or his lack of ability to grapple. I actually think Alex beats Ankalaev, and I know MMA maths doesn't always work out, but Ankalaev had no answer for Jan's leg kicks. Jan kicked the crap out of his leg and had him on skates. Alex has some of the best leg kicks in the game, so imagine what he'll do to him. But if Ank can't beat Alex, who can? Alex has finished everyone he's fought at 205, apart from one man, Jan Blachowicz, who went tooth and nail with Alex, and on another night with other judges, I think he could have got the decision win. And I think if they hadn't have fought at Elevation in Salt Lake, Jan could have had more stamina and fought even better. It's strange we're talking about Jamal Hill getting a rematch. Even Yuri got a rematch after getting starched, but Jan gave Alex his toughest fight, and no one is calling for it. But I think if Jan gets a win in 2025, he'll get that title shot, and he has a good chance of beating Alex Pereira. Then we move on to Alex's former division, the middleweight division. Dricus du Plessis seemingly looks his way into winning. I've never seen anyone fight so badly with so little technique but still manage to get the job done. It's incredibly entertaining, and I love to watch him fight. But I think Dricus's luck is coming to an end. Khamzat Chimaev is stalking this division and has his eye on gold, and I just don't see Dricus being able to stop Khamzat. Now moving on from one monster of a grappler to another, it seemed that Shavkat Rakhmonov was lined up to be the middleweight champion, but after his win against Ian Gary, the shine has certainly rubbed off, and I'm honestly not so sure that he can beat Belal, and I don't think Shavkat has that experience at the top level. As boring as Belal is, he's overlooked as a fighter. He's a fantastic grappler and has really leveled up his striking, and after training with Khabib, he seems to be on another level. I'm not sure who can beat Belal, certainly not any of the new contenders coming up, but even though the clock is ticking, Kamaru Usman plans to come back in 2025. They have very similar styles, and Usman ran through the welterweight division for such a long time. I'm not sure Usman can get the win, but if anyone has a chance of beating Belal anytime soon, it may just be Kamaru Usman. Now we move on to the lightweight division. Islam Makhachev doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon. He's an elite grappler, and his striking is getting better and better every time he steps into the octagon. His head kick over Volk, as painful it was for me to watch, was perfectly placed, and to be honest, I don't see anyone in the lightweight division beating him right now, but the man who just might be able to beat him isn't in the lightweight division. Ilia Topuria. I know it's daft to even say Ilia stands a chance against Islam, but I didn't think Ilia would beat Volk or Max either, but he teared through the pair of them. Ilya is a dynamic, well-rounded fighter. He's great on the feet and on the ground, and we saw how much trouble Islam had with Volk in the first fight, and that was down to a lot with Volk's height. Ilya also has a low base, and Islam may struggle to get him down. Whether Ilya decides to move up to lightweight or not is by the by though. He is the current featherweight champion and seems almost unstoppable. I know I've said this a lot already, but I just don't see anyone in this division beating Ilya. He's slick everywhere. He's part of this new generation of fighters who don't have a specific base and are pure MMA fighters, and with the current up and coming contenders, the talent just isn't good enough, or at least not yet. There are some great unranked fighters who have some real potential, but we'll just have to wait and see. So if they can't beat Ilya, who can? The only man I think who stands a chance is the man he already flattened, and that's Alexander Volkanovski. I'm not saying Volk is going to beat Ilya, but if anyone can do it, it's him. Volk is one of those guys who is so adaptable, he makes huge adjustments every round and learns a lot. So if anyone is going to do it, it's Alexander Volkanovski. Now Merab Dvalishvili is set to face Umar Nurmagomedov in January, so he could have a new champion pretty quickly, but I'm not sure Umar is going to be able to beat Merab. Umar is a fantastic fighter with a lot of potential, but he hasn't fought the same high-level competition as Merab, who's beat 4 former bantamweight champions, whereas Umar's only beat Corey Sandhagen, and that experience is going to get Merab the win. So if Umar isn't going to be champion, who is? I think the big problem with fighting someone like Merab is you have to get him out of there to beat him. A big finish, something magical. And though Merab dominated him already, if anyone can pull out something magical, it's Sean O'Malley. He's a sniper with some wicked KO power. If O'Malley manages to get the rematch, he could catch him and we could see him as a 2-time world champion. Now let's move on to the flyweight division. The big problem with this division is I just don't care. Pantoja is clearly a talented fighter, but they just keep throwing undeserving opponents at him over and over again. But can anyone topple him and take his crown? I'd love to see Kai Kara-France get a crack at it. He's been a workhorse of this division for years now. Pantoja and Kai have some history already, back on Tough where Pantoja beat him, but they're both very different fighters now, and Kai Kara has a cracking punch, and maybe, just maybe, he could catch Pantoja. Now let's move on to the female divisions. 2024 has been a rocky year for women's MMA, having only 4 title fights and 2 of them were proper dog shit. So let's just do a quick roundup. I think Kayla Harrison will be bantamweight champion by the end of the year, if not sooner. She's massive and super dangerous, and I don't think she'll have any problems with Amanda Nunes whatsoever. Valentina is likely set to fight for Raw next, but I think Valentina probably clears her without any problems. The fight that I want to happen is a super fight. Champion versus champion. Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. They're surprisingly similar in size and both well-rounded. I think this has the potential to be one of the best female fights of all time, and I hope it happens before it's too late, because Zhang has a tough defense coming up against Tatiana Suarez. Suarez is huge, she's a great grappler, and she's strong as an ox, and I worry for Zhang Weili here, and Suarez might take the belt off her. But 2025 is an interesting year, and I don't really expect many titles to change hands, but we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Thank you everyone for watching. If you can like and subscribe, it really does help the channel out, and make sure you comment down below who you think will be champion in 2025.